Hi guys, it's Jesse from Hansen Speed Shop here, and it's finally spring out, and just as promised, we're going to take a look at my 1971 Chrysler New Yorker. Here she is, the now world famous 1971 Chrysler. I'm going to give you a little bit of history on the car, then I'm going to tell you what's all going on in the car, and then what some future plans are on the car. This car was originally bought in 1971 by my grandpa at Radlinger's Chrysler Dodge Plymouth. This car was bought brand new for roughly $5,000, which in 1971 was a lot of money. My grandpa worked at a cheese factory and he wasn't rich by any means, so $5,000 today would be like probably going out buying a $60,000 or $70,000 car. And I have the original receipt for the car to show that that's what it was. He had the car for probably 20 some years. They used this car to go on a lot of family trips. This car was driven from Wisconsin to Texas multiple times. My parents used this car as their wedding car. And then sometime in the early 90s, the car got handed over to my uncle, who had the car for about another 15 years or so, and he mainly just stored the car. Started it up every once in a while and drove it, but that was about the extent of it. Then in 2008, I was 16 years old. I heard he was wanting to get rid of the car. I kept begging my mom to talk to him about it. And after about a year or so, in the summer of 2008, I got this car. It was completely stock. It needed a lot of TLC, but I always loved the car. I loved the look of it. Had good lines, and I knew that it had a lot of potential. So I first started doing just a bunch of little stuff to get the car running and driving. Shocks and oil change, transmission flush, rebuilt the radiator, hoses, plugs, wires, that kind of stuff. That's kind of the history on the car. So now I'll tell you basically what's going on. The car's a burgundy metallic from the factory. This is original paint car. There is some very minor touch-up that's been done on the car. Right below the New Yorker, behind the front wheel, was touched up slightly, and then down here there's fill from the factory, and it kind of cracked, and we had that fixed. And that's kind of about it for touching up on the car. Other than that, it's all original paint. All the trim, chrome, everything on the exterior is original. This is the original black vinyl top. The interior of the car, right now, is basically all stock, all original. The floor mats, those are the original floor mats. They were originally clear and they'd kind of turned to ugly yellow color just from age. So I used some vinyl paint, painted them black, and it just made the interior look a lot nicer. And it worked really well. The only other thing that it's going to be getting is it's a factory AM radio, and I've got a vintage AM FM converter that's going to be going in. Otherwise, the interior is just all stock, original. The wheels on the car are American Racing torque thrust 15x7s all the way around. BFG radio TAs, 235/60s up front and 255/70s out back. So I wanted a little bit beefier look on the back, kind of give the car a little bit of a rake. Everything on the car I wanted to keep kind of period. I don't want a lot of modern stuff. I wanted to keep this thing kind of 70s looking, kind of a mild 70s street machine look to it. The brakes in the front, it's running New calipers, new rotors, EBC pads, Outback's factory, I think they're 11 or 11 and a half inch drums, all Ray Bestis brakes. Let's take a look under the hood. This just got the car out today, so it's a little dirty compared to what I usually have. Here's the power plant, 440 cubes. Internally, the engine right now is still stock, 48,000 original miles on the car. It's got an Edelbrock Performer intake, 750 Edelbrock carb. I think that's like a 3 or 4 inch air filter with a vintage air grabber air cleaner lid. And I know that the Super Commando pie plate's not correct, but I just like the look of it with the racing flags and stuff. I always thought that looked really cool. And I had to do a little bit of work with the bottom pan to get everything to fit under the hood. It's got a now vintage Mopar Performance blaster coil, original points distributor with a Pertronics kit in it, Taylor 8mm wires. Let's see, probably forgetting something. We're running 2.5 inch exhaust with Flowmasters. That's kind of about it. I'm sure I forgot something. The tranny is a 727 right now, just stock. Out back we got an 8 3/4 stuffed with Auburn Sure Grip and Yukon 323 gears. Future upgrades are going to be a new water pump, aluminum, and we're going to put on a 6-pack clutch fan, and those are the original belts, so I'm probably going to have them replaced just so I feel safer about driving the car, because like last year those heater hoses blew up and it was a big mess. So I don't want to be sitting on the side of the road again this year with something due to old rotted rubber. And then I've got a set of TTI inch and 7/8 headers that at some point will be going on this car. But other than that, that's pretty much about it. I got that vintage AM FM converter. It's going to be going in the car. And then that's kind of about it. There's some things that might be done in the future at some point, but for now that's all I really have planned. So I'll start the car up for you. And we'll go from there. The car was just driven about a mile or so, so it is warmed up. It's got a really nice sound to it. Alright guys, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.